Okay, it says that it is streaming and it looks like we are streaming, guys. So, hi, this is Jerry. Welcome back to the channel. And I know it's been a while since I did a stream. I did my talk, my lecture, whatever you want to call it, the podcast, whatever. But today is the day, and I had to take a break because I had other obligations. I had to be with some people, and also I was feeling sick, guys. And it's not the type of sickness that you feel again on earth. It's a spiritual sickness that's from within, and you know that you're not sick. You know that your body is changing and things are happening from the inside out, and that's exactly what was happening to me. And I am not going to push myself too much. I'm not going to push myself like I did in the past. And whoever is listening, I know that you don't need to push yourself either at this time because like a lot of people are saying, spiritual teachers, masters, ascended ones, ancient ones, whatever you want to call them, they're all saying the same thing, that July is going to be an unprecedented month, and it's going to be one that's going to help us evolve even faster. And for me, it just meant that I had to take a break from everything, take a break from talking and just being online. So, that's exactly what happens. And I wanted to talk about what has been happening lately in July because July is almost over. But first, I'm getting ahead of myself. First, I wanted to show you guys this image or show you guys this scripture that we're all pretty much familiar with. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. So, a lot of the materialists, a lot of the religion today that we're going to get, a lot of the crap religion and Christianity that we're going to get is going to, again, take this literally, but I know who is ever watching knows what this means on a spiritual, esoteric level, that the oil is the Christ oil that is runneth over. Your cup in this month of July is running over. So this Christ oil is running over, it's coming alive. Okay, things are starting to happen inside of us. If you want to call us the chosen one, the ancient ones, the ones that are back, the ones that are elevating the frequency of earth. So thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies. So this table, again, lets us know that we're turning the table, we're going into a new golden age. We have the table full of fruits, whatever we need for our new selves, our new bodies, our new spiritual and material livelihood or living that we're going to come into. And I just wanted to let you guys know that there has been a lot of false light, there has been a lot of fake messiahs, there's been a lot of falsity, like I've been talking about with the religion, that again just wants you to be stuck in this material plane, that just wants you to be stuck in the muck and mire of your mental thoughts, of your mentality, when you should know that you should not be stuck in the mind. You should be also an energetic being. You should also be free flowing through your body. And what we're living through right now is revelation times. Why are we living through revelation times? Why are we living through the last chapter, the so-called last chapter of the Bible? Is because they literally wrote revelations. They knew, being the devil, okay, the cursed seed, whatever you want to call them, They knew that their time was going to end because cycles come and go, and they knew that they had to write a book to let us know what they were going to do during this time. This cycle of false light, this cycle of devil's cursed time. Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, it's about 6,000 years, or it's about 6,000 years. I don't know what the cycle was again. It was like 26,000 years. So the cycle is ending. And I also wanted to mention something that I talked about in one of my very first videos, but I am not the first person to say this. So don't be like, oh, you're trying to be a prophet. Oh, you're just trying to do doomsday stuff and whatever, conspiracy, whatever. There have been a lot of people, okay, that have connection to the Akasha, that have connection to the spiritual realm, that can see what is going on, not just in the 3D realm. I've been talking about a lot of people on Earth that are walking around. They don't have a full spirit. They don't have a full soul, if you want to call it that. And so we just call those people NPCs. We just call those people background people, okay? Because the weather and, all of the judgment day stuff, all the revelation stuff is happening, that means a lot of the population is going to be cut off, because if you do not have a spiritual center, if you do not have connection to source, as things heat up, as we get into the solar cycle more and more, because we were in a lunar cycle, we were in the darkness, we were connected to a moon that was towed into our system. That means the people that were also connected to that material plane, that were connected to the lunar cycle, the people that are, again, that are not, that were just here to help project the hologram, also need to leave. So, that being said, nothing can be done against your will. So again, source or the creator is going to ask, do you want to leave the realm or do you want to continue on? And a lot of people, again, are going to leave because their energies are not going to be able to persist. They're not going to be able to, again, they're not going to be able to endure what is going to happen as we go on and on through our evolution, as we go on and on the with the churning, with the flames, with the solar cycle, as it heats up every single day. So, just want to let you guys know that to me most likely is going to happen. You're going to see lots and lots of people just disappear, leave because their mitochondria DNA is being cut off, or they never had any DNA that was really substantial for them to stay on Earth. And a lot of people are probably going to ask, why are people all of a sudden dying? Why is this all of a sudden happening? And the media might try to play one thing, some other people might say some other stuff, but we all know what is happening. We all know what time we're in. So just put that notion in your mind that yes, things are going to happen. It's going to start to spice up. Alright guys, so I wanted to talk about this really quick. Not that I'm totally into football/soccer, but I wanted to mention some of the codes that were going on. So just this happened like maybe hours ago, probably less than 10 hours ago when you're watching this. This happened yesterday on Sunday. And yeah, guys, Spain versus Argentina. So I already had some sort of prediction that one team was going to represent the sun. It was going to be Argentina. Argentina was always going to be in the World Cup, and Spain versus Argentina. So, what this lets me know based off who won and who was in the final World Cup match, lets me know that again, that we have the colonizer, we have Spain being the colonizer versus Argentina, who's supposed to represent the sun, who's supposed to represent the people of the Americas. But I also got into deeper codes or messages with Spain versus Argentina is the Black Boule, the people behind everything, the person behind the scenes, the person or the people behind the curtain, okay, and the Wizard of Oz. I always talk about them, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, the cursed seed, the dark melanated cursed seed of Enlil. They originated in Spain, okay? So they were considered the kings, the royalty of Spain back in the day. So they were called the Black Royalty, the Black Boule. And I also wanted to mention that a lot of them also had offspring in Argentina. So if you go through Argentina's roots, you will see that they have a lot of colonizers' blood. They have a lot of Spain's blood. They have a lot of Ukrainian blood. They have a lot of Italian blood. So this again just links back to the Ashkenazi Jew. The Jews, the Ashkenazi Jew or Black Boule, cursed seed, Enlil's children, whatever you want to call them. They call themselves by many different names because, again, they want to throw you off. They want you not to link back to who they truly are, who's behind the scenes, who's behind the curtain. So this lets me know that Spain won as some sort of ritual, letting us know that, again, they're trying to show us that colonizers are trying to seep as much power and energy as they possibly can. But on the other hand, Argentina is also a country that is also being subjugated, that is also being controlled behind the curtains, because they also have bloodlines. Okay, all of their leaders and politicians have bloodlines that go back to Spain, that have connection to the Black Boule, that have connection to these cursed seeds. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys these images. So in Spain, they have this celebration. Okay, I'm not sure what it's called, the Three Kings Day, but they have parades where they talk about the Black Boule, where they talk about the Black Moors, where they talk about the Black Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, okay, that are behind the scenes, that are Enlil's cursed seed, and they do this blackface festivities and parades because they want to remember who they were. They want to remember who was basically thrown out of the kingdom, who was thrown out of Spain's kingdom. So this is what they look like. This is what they do to commemorate or recognize. These are the people that were behind the scenes. These are the people that were once a part of the monarchy. These are the people that, again, that are connected to a lot of the current day's monarchies. Even if they look white nowadays, they were not white back in the day. I also wanted to show this, guys. So this is also festivities. This is also celebrations, again, in Spain. And where do we recognize this from? Where do we recognize this garb from? We recognize this, again, from the KKK. And who brought the KKK over? Who instituted it? Who is the secret hidden hand? Who is the black hand behind everything? It is, again, the Black Boule, okay? It is, again, the people that were thrown from the kingdom of Spain, England, all of the European countries, and basically transplanted themselves in America, in the US, because they have nowhere to go, okay? They are the people in the Bible that have no land. They are the ones that are asking Yahweh, aka Enlil, we need a land to stay, but they do not belong on earth. They do not belong here. So, again, we see this again in Spain, and if you guys have seen the video with with Kanye West, he also wears this in front of people because he's sending us a message, he's sending us a code that, again, they are out there, they're doing their business, they're doing their rituals, they're still doing their dark rituals. If you guys look up online, in Catholicism, they have a black pope, and the things that the black pope, again, deal with, again, will make you sick, because this again goes back to the root of all of the religions, all of Christianity, Catholicism goes back to them. This goes back to them. And again, we see right here the Three Kings Parade. They're again showing us this is who used to rule Spain. This is who used to rule England. These are kings. These are kings. So King Philip, not sure what it says because I'm not good at Roman numerals, but King Philip of Spain again shows us King of Spain and Portugal, shows us that this is the true king right here. So he is black as hell. He's literally black as hell, black as night. But they like to whitewash the freaking kings. And sometimes they like to have a white face in front. They like to have a pale man as the king. But behind the scenes, the true king has a handler. And the true king is the handler of this white king. So throughout time, you will see that there has been a lot of whitewashing of kings because they don't want you to let you know that the true kings, the true handlers behind everything were the Black Moors, were these guys. Were these guys who all of Europe banished, okay? All of Europe banished them, so they had to go and look for a new place to transplant themselves, parasitically supplant themselves, which happened to be the US. So that's what I wanted to talk about with the ritual of, that's what I wanted to talk about with the ritual again with the World Cup. And yeah, guys, a lot of things are happening in the world. A lot of things, again, show us that they're just trying to squeeze the very last bit of energy that they possibly can because they're trying to override things, but it's not working. It's not working. It's literally not working. So, I wanted to talk about neutrinos really quick. And the reason why I want to talk about neutrinos also has to go with CERN. The CERN shutting down. So I'm just going to read what neutrinos are. I'm just going to read the definition because I don't want to butcher it. I don't want anybody to be like, that's not true, Jerry. That's not true. Neutrinos are tiny particles with no electric charge. Okay, they have little mass, lightest of all subatomic particles, ghost particles, Holy Ghost particles, it should say, most abundant particle in mass in the universe, the source of neutrinos, the sun, cosmic rays, nuclear reactors, supernovas, neutrinos from the early universes. There are three types: electron neutrino, muon, tau neutrino. And these are where all the observatories, they observe them, including CERN. I want to let you guys know that we are receiving a mass amount of neutrinos. Why are we receiving more neutrinos? Why are we receiving more of the Holy Ghost particles? Why are we receiving more of this mysterious particle that enters our body? About billions of these particles enter our body every single day, but we don't know about them. We can't see them. But why are they coming in? A lot more of these Holy Ghost particles are coming in. Mostly is because the simulation again is ending. Okay. If you want to say that there was a dome over the earth, you could say that. It looks like a dome, but it's not exactly a dome. And I've talked about this before. The person that let us know that it's not a dome and that it's really light technology from the Pleiadians was said by Rod Hayes. You guys should go check him out. And again, these neutrinos are coming in because everything is being lifted off, okay? Everything that, again, subjugated us, everything that enclosed us into this 3D mass, into this lower frequency, into this lower realm, again, is being lifted off. So that means we have direct connection with the black center. We have direct connection with the black mother. We have direct connection to the cosmic rays. We have direct connection to all of these energies that we, again, did not have connection to because our energies were being siphoned, subjugated by the moon, by Saturn, and by this matrix. Saturn Moon Matrix. Okay? So I'm going to play 2 videos on neutrinos because I can explain it as good as the experts. So we're gonna watch 2 videos. Hopefully it lets me play. It's not going to do some weird shit like it did last time, but I feel like my internet is okay. My internet is good. So if something happens, let me know in the comments if they're just playing weird games, but I don't think so. Not this time. Let me turn up the volume. Let me turn up the volume.
In regards to the neutrinos, it detects the neutrinos that are apparently coming off of the new exotic propulsion systems for either off-world UFOs or reverse-engineered stuff on our planet.
What is neutrino?
Neutrino is a near massless particle that goes at, close, or beyond the speed of light. It is so small that it can pass between the electron shell and the nucleus of pretty much every atom on the planet. In the capacity of being detected at the South Pole Station, when the neutrino impacts the nucleus of the water molecule of the ice in the glaciers at the pole, a reaction occurs. The nucleus and the neutrino become destroyed. A muon is created and ejected, and a blue flash of light known as Cherenkov radiation flashes in the ice, and that's what the DOMs, the digital optical modules, are detecting. That's their primary purpose as presented. Now, whether that neutrino comes from a quasar out in space or a exotic propelled engine off of vehicles that aren't being discussed contemporarily, it detects it, thus making it basically an air traffic control center for all non-discussed vehicles on this planet. So just like we have all the other air traffic on the planet and it's being completely observed and attended to, there's just another level of craft on this planet and another level of air traffic control tower that exists. This is that facility. That each one of these DOMs can transmit at 2,047 volts each. So these are currently the facts of life.
Alright guys, so I'm going to show you another video that, again, graphically shows what he was talking about, and a lot of the ancient technology that is in Antarctica is underneath the ice. So again, this is again where we went through an ice age, and if you guys know anything about the Sumerian tablets or what was written about what happened during the Anunnaki Wars, again, we can see that they had nuclear weapons and they shot off nuclear weapons, which caused an ice age, which again killed a lot of people and caused ice to form. And there's a lot of this technology, but they're also the deep state have been using Antarctica as their headquarters, and as you can see, they've also been using it to detect neutrinos, to detect, like the guy was saying, these ET or these spaceships or these crafts. So let's watch a representation really quick. What's been going on in Antarctica? Let's see. Turn the volume up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Bottom of the world, there's a massive machine buried deep in the ice, almost 3 times deeper than the tallest skyscraper on Earth. To build it, scientists drilled 86 massive holes straight down into the frozen ground, then lowered more than 5,000 ultra-sensitive detectors into the darkness. Once they were in place, the ice refroze around them, locking the entire system in time. These detectors aren't looking for anything you can see or touch. They're hunting ghost particles called neutrinos. These particles are unbelievably small and pass straight through your body, the Earth, and even entire planets without you ever noticing. Trillions of them are flying through you right now. Almost none of them interact with anything at all. But deep under Antarctic ice, once in a while, one does. About once a month, a neutrino slams into an atom, creating a tiny flash of light. That flash ripples through the detectors, lighting them up like a silent alarm. When it happens, scientists immediately know where it came from and turn their telescopes toward that part of the universe. Those signals have already traced explosions from supermassive black holes and distant cosmic disasters. But that's not the real goal. Scientists believe these detectors may one day reveal something even bigger, clues about the deepest secrets of the universe itself. Did you know down in Antarctica?
Okay, guys, so we saw the visual representation of what they're doing, and now I wanted to talk about CERN because I'm going to talk about why are the deep state, why are they so invested in neutrinos? Why are they so invested, again, building all of this equipment to detect all of this? And I'm just gonna read this really quick. I'm not gonna read all of it. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't know how many pages there are, but I saw this on TikTok, so I'm going to show it. I'm going to read it to you guys. CERN shuts down June 29th. They told you it's maintenance. It isn't. The Large Hadron Collider, the most powerful machine ever built by human hands, goes dark June 29th, 2026, permanently offline. This is what they called Shutdown 3. They told you it's an upgrade, routine, technical, but the internal timeline doesn't match. LS3 was originally scheduled for 2028. It was moved forward twice. The final acceleration happened 3 months after Run 3 produced results that were never published. Not delayed, never published. So, whatever they picked up. A former data analysis, 6 years, CERN Computing Center left November 2025. In September 2025, Run 3 collisions at 13.6 TeV produced an anomaly in Sector 7L. Not a particle, not antimatter, a resonance signature with no corresponding mass. Energy appeared from a source that doesn't exist in the standard model. The data was flagged level 5. I had never seen level 5 in 6 years. Within 72 hours, the dataset was moved to a restricted server. Access revoked for 340 researchers. The Eternal Memo Reference Protocol 7, a designation I had never encountered in any CERN documentation. 3 weeks later, LS3 was moved from 2028 to June 2026. This is not a coincidence. You do not shut down a 13 billion machine 2 years early because of maintenance. What did they find? The standard model accounts for 5% of the universe, the other 95% dark matter. Dark matter is not missing. It is on the other side of something. CERN was built to find the door. Run 3 found it. They are not shutting down for maintenance. They are shutting down because what came through cannot be continued while the machine is running. Let's see. Okay, so I think I might stop it there. Is there any other? Okay, so I'm just gonna read this last one because there's only 2 pages left. The machine goes dark. What it opens does not close when you turn off the power. The machine goes dark, but what it opened does not close when you turn off the power. Tesla knew. He wrote about it in 1899. Signals from the outside are dimension. Received in Colorado Springs, his papers were seized by Office of Alien Property in 1943. Reviewed by Dr. John G. Trump, the president's uncle. And honestly, guys, when I read that, I was like, wow, everything is freaking connected. 3 generations later, the grandson sits in the Oval Office, the machine shuts down, the timing is not accidental. So, guys, I was thinking, why did they shut down? Why did they shut down? Why is all of this happening when they were doing all of this hidden stuff behind scenes? And again, if you don't know anything about CERN, I would just say that again, they were doing everything they possibly can to switch the timeline of Earth to make sure that they were in power, they were in rule for as long as they could possibly be in rule. So that means they had to develop these types of technologies. They had to have ancient technologies in a place where, again, they can do research on black holes, black matter. And according to Rod Hayes, and I'm going to link down his video because he talks about it in a recent video with Empress Chakra Mama Bird, and he talks about it. And he basically points out and says he straight up says that they were trying to build a god. Okay, they were trying to build some sort of artificial god that would reign over the earth. That would make you, again, subjugate your energies and make sure that, again, the timeline was in their favor. Okay, so this is what they've been trying to do. They've just been trying, again, to subjugate the humanity, trying to, again, make the timeline in their favor from the very beginning. And there's actually an anime that I really like. You guys should go check it out if you guys are interested in about CERN, if you want to get some messages, some spiritual messages. Is called Steins Gate. And Steins Gate deals with CERN. I'm not really sure if they call it CERN, if they call it something else in the anime, but they have a CERN, and the guy in the anime, the protagonist, has to go back and forth from the past and the present. He has to go back and forth from the past and the present to try to fix it, to try to make sure that everything is okay. But to be honest, guys, this is what they were doing in the background, trying to, again, see if they could switch things. But again, you cannot go up against God. You cannot go up against the Dark Mother. You cannot go up against, and I'm pretty sure, as we read in this post, they are shutting down. Why are they shutting down? What did they find? What did they find? They found something. They found, again, they found the matter. They found in the spiritual realms that are coming in, the spiritual energy that is coming in from the higher realms that is now reaching Earth. They are finding that you cannot go up against it. Okay, it basically shut down their whole entire system. And they found pretty easily, without a doubt, that you cannot build something that replicates God. You cannot create God. You cannot create anything that replicates what God does. So, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about, which CERN shutting down. It again is indicating to us that we are in the end times, that they are leaving. The parasites are leaving the earth. Everything is switching over, and everybody else is going to be in a frenzy. Everybody else is going to be like, oh my gosh, why does everything seem like it's crashing down? Why is my world crashing down? Why is the 3D world crashing down? It's because they're still attached to it. So, again, we just need to see this as a sign that it's now our time. It's now our time. It's now time for us to. It's now a time for us to be in the light, for us to be lifted off this past that they created. Alright, guys, I talked about the El Nino weather, and every single day it gets more and more hot. And I wanted to show you guys this representation so it gets stuck in your head. The El Nino gets bigger. So we can see the El Nino has existed for a very long time. and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it is, again, it is what a lot of people are saying that is causing the global climate to get hot. And why is it getting hot on Earth, guys? Why is it getting hot on Earth? Well, we are going through a spiritual heat wave. We are heating up. As we heat up on the outside, as Earth heats up, as she's going through her initiation, as she's going through her evolution, this means that we also are going through the spiritual heat wave. We are also heating up on the inside. So, as I said last time, we're going to continue to see destruction on Earth, whether it is being weather modified by the deep state or it is Mother Nature. And Mother Nature needs to go through these changes because what has happened again in Japan, what happened in Venezuela, what happened in Japan, all at the same time, the earthquakes happening. All of this happened at the same time because it's letting us know that the joints of Mother Earth are shifting. Things are shifting underneath her. Things need to erupt and shift on the exterior of the planet as well. And it's going to get a lot hotter in places where it was not hot once again because everything needs to burn up. All of the things that are not supposed to be on Earth need to burn up because we again are in a solar cycle. We are in a solar cycle. So heating up, all this heating up that's happening on the Earth is also happening inside of you, which again goes back to the Christ consciousness, which again goes back to the oil that comes from your pineal gland. When it goes down, when the sacred oil goes down your body, this means that you're going to start heating up. You're going to start reacting. You're going to start feeling sick. You're going to start having ascension symptoms. You're going to start going through these changes. You might have, similar changes to what the earth is going through. And you're going to have to get rid of the parasites. You're going to have to get rid of these energy vampires, these things that you used to do in the past. And if you're not going to do it, it's going to come out one way or another. So, that's what I wanted to talk about with El Nino. And no, it's not something to be fearful of. If you see people dying because of the heat, you need to know that it's all in divine notion. Everything was already planned in this way. So it's not for you to feel bad for anybody. It's not for you to be like, oh, Mother Earth, why are you doing this to us? No, it's not for that reason. It's, again, for a more spiritual motive, a more spiritual intention and reason and plan that most people are not going to want to realize or see or are going to want to say, oh, again, you're just saying a bunch of bullcrap, but it's not. Everything happens on the inside and the out. Okay, guys, I have one more video about CERN, and I'll just play it really quick. I forgot about it, but we're just going to play this so I can talk a little bit about it. I already kind of talked about that. Again, CERN was being used for devil purposes, but let's just listen to this guy really quick.
Juj and Majuj, they're trying to come through. So they get the humans to build these things for them, facilitate the physical because they're not physical, and if they manifest in their jinn form, people would have attacked them, and they're in their weakest in their manifest form. But when they enter into human, you can't tell that they've entered in, but that human no longer acts human because you'd ask them that, why are you making something to bring demons through? They're going to eat you, they're going to eat your family, and they're going to destroy everything you know of this reality. So it can't be a person with logical sense doing that. These are illogical acts. But through spirituality you understand why they're doing that, because they've given themselves to shaitan and they're not conscious anymore of what they're doing and why they're doing it. But they want to open the floodgate and bring many more shaitans in. And I would imagine that they have to do all of that and eventually they want to bring their quantum, similar to…
Alright guys, so again, that's one of the things that Cern was doing. There's many things that they were doing, like I was talking about, them trying to jump the timelines and also allowing these dark entities to enter through the portals that they had access to, because one of the things that Cern definitely does have is the ability to open portals for whatever entities they want to come through, and they can have the reptilians come through, the mirror universe, they could have these Gog or Magog, or what this guy was saying, Juj and Majuj, to come in, and they were all doing this to cause chaos, again, to basically to make as much evil on Earth and to lower the frequency as much as possible. And there is a lot, what he was saying is true, because there are public figures like the Pope who was basically a host for the devil, the so-called quote unquote devil, and they also, again, there is demonic possession. Okay, there is demonic possession, and they like to make religious figures, or they like to make so-called public or ideologic people. They like to, again, have these demonic possessions happen through them. So again, when you're looking at the media and you're giving your energy to them, that just gives them more energy to the darkness, to the evil that has existed. Alright guys, I wanted to talk about some astrology before we leave today, so hopefully this will let me play the video. And no, I don't have Instagram, but it should let me freaking watch the video. Okay, let me see if I can open it up again. Let me open it up again. Let me open it up. It might not let me play it, which kind of sucks. Because I don't have Instagram, and I don't plan getting Instagram because I got off Instagram because there's a lot of shit going on during that time. They're just using it as… Yeah, let me see if I can look it up really quick. Sometimes it lets me come through, sometimes it doesn't let me come through. Okay, let's see if it's gonna play. Nope, it's not gonna play any Instagram. So let's go ahead and look at the images dealing with the Barbault basket. Okay guys, this is the Barbault basket, and for most of us, we're just seeing this and like, okay, that's cool and everything, but I don't know what's going on. So let's read what's going on. And the Barbault basket is a rare major astrological alignment configuration, gets its name from the French astrologer André Barbault, who identified long-term planetary cycles and their connection to global history and generational shifts. So, what is the meaning of all of this? So, there are 4 outer planets that are simultaneously holding a 4 degree of their respective signs. So there are 4 planets. 4, 4, 4, 4. So they're all holding 4 degrees in their signs. Okay? So this is what is forming what is called the Barbault basket, a rare geometric pattern. So this geometric pattern goes back to 444. It is an energetic field, and it again lets us know that we're going through another evolutionary shift. So Pluto is in Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius. Pluto is in its respective sign. Neptune is in Aries. Neptune is in its respective sign. Uranus is in Gemini. Uranus is in its respective holy, high, hailing sign. Jupiter is in Leo. It is in its sign, and they're all 4 degrees in their respective signs. So, what does this mean? So, this means a global reset, according to Barbault. Barbault spent a lifetime tracking the slow-moving outer planets, noting when they clustered together in a certain way, it marks the end of a difficult era and the start of a splendid relaunch of civilization. It is breaking the old models. Okay, astrologers believe the basket pattern symbolizes a period where outdated institutional and social systems break down so that new, more equitable ideas can take shape, and it focuses on fire and air. The configuration highlights planets moving into fire and air signs, which emphasizes action, experimentation, and forward thinking and mindset. Like the astrologers have been saying, guys, we have in astrology the symbolism of the astrology for the past era, this past Bronze era, Bronze Age that we have been in has been Earth. So we have been firmly cemented, planted on the Earth, but we've also been planted and cemented into delusion. We've also been in the muck, in the mire, in the illusions of what the deep state, what the theater, what the play has been going on. And now we are moving into a more spiritual, thematic, and more spiritual themes of fire and air, as the astrology is showing us, as the message of what Andre basically told us. So, let me just read this really quick. This is the last part of it. So, the term basket comes from the visual shape the planets make when you map them across the zodiac wheel. The handle, an opposition between Jupiter, focuses on expansion and ideology, and Pluto focusing on profound transformation and power. This provides the central tension of the drive of configuration. The base is Uranus, innovation and sudden change. Neptune is the spiritual awakening and collective ideas. They form harmonious aspects of the planets on the handle, providing support, imagination, pathways to resolve, and central tension. So, we can see that the symbolism is very profound, and this is currently going on as we speak. So, let me see what this chart is. So, this chart is for July 20th, 2026. And we can see that this is currently going on. All of these energies, again, are helping us into our spiritual evolution, and the planets are helping us, the alignments are helping us, the geometric shapes. Again, this all means that this is all happening inside of you. All of this is happening inside of you. All of these alignments are also occurring within you. So you can use this to your benefit. You don't need to see the planets as destroyers, as the ones that make your destiny, but you can use their energies when they are in place. But no matter what is happening, we all know that the astrological chart, what the planets are showing us, is that everything is aligning for this sudden eruption of awakening. People are going to start waking up. people are going to come into their Christ selves. The Christ consciousness is going to be back on earth. The love frequency is going to be back on earth. We're not going to just be stuck in, again, the delusion, the muck and the mire, the mud of what has been going on. Alright guys, I wanted to play a few more videos, and I think pretty much done with the updates for July. And I'm just gonna play like maybe 1 minute of this, and I'll talk about the symbolism or the message I see in it.
So here in Baltimore, for Sail 250 Maryland and Air Show Baltimore, we have 14 international tall ships coming, visiting the city. We have 2 U.S. Navy ships and a Canadian Navy ship coming. We have a number of other smaller vessels coming, and we have an amazing air show. So we have an amazing opportunity to celebrate our 250th here in Baltimore.
Alright guys, I'm just gonna stop there because you guys get the point. I just want to let you know, the Black Boule, Enlil's Cursed Seed, the Spanish Ashkenazi Jews, the European Jews, whatever you want to call them, they're all the same people, and they all came on the ships, okay? They all came on the ships to America, okay? To the corporate United States, which they instituted. And again, them doing this, them showing us these ships, lets us know that what you see in the beginning of the cycle has to be shown at the end. So they're showing us the reverse of what they did when they first came to America. They came on the ships, they subjugated and killed all of the natives, they killed the organic people of the Americas again. And they're showing us that maritime law is ending. Maritime law is done. Okay? So, maritime law basically is what kept the majority of the planet as slaves, kept you under trust, kept your name, kept you under a corporate title, and kept you under a straw man title, made you into a dead entity, and gave you a social security number, gave you all of that, so they can continue ruling as the royals, as they can continue ruling in the background. But as we can see with these ships, with the 250 America celebration, all of this is ending because whatever we see in the beginning of the cycle has to show itself in the end of the cycle. So that's exactly what's going on. Let America, the corporation, die. Let the corporation die. Alright guys, so I think I'm gonna play just play the whole video. It's 1 minute, so let's see what's going on.
Episode 51 and the ongoing eruption at the summit of Kilauea got underway Wednesday morning after days of low-level precursory activity. The latest episode began at 8:30 this morning. In 2 hours, lava fountains grew to about 950 feet high, or 290 meters. The USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory reported effusion rates reached a peak of about 400 cubic yards per second at 10:30. The north vent fountains were feeding large lava flows onto the crater floor. The plume from the eruption, which is different from the fountain and comprised mostly of volcanic gas and ash, reached up to about 18,000 feet above sea level. Ground level sensors indicated light winds were blowing from the northeast direction, suggesting gas emissions and volcanic material may be distributed to the southwest. At higher altitudes, the plume was rising vertically. Most tephra was falling within the closed area of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna stop it there. We all get the point. Like I told you, things are gonna start erupting. Things are gonna continue on as we're in the Revelation times, we're in the Judgment time, as El Nino weather is showing us, as we're seeing all of these eruptions, we're seeing all the earthquakes. Everything is gonna continue, and again, we are in the solar cycle. The sun is in place. The sun is at its highest. The sun is reaching the earth. It's getting a direct reach on the earth now. So that means all of the parasites are being burned away. They're all being burned away, including all of the reptilians, including all of the dark entities and the aliens that were in cahoots with the Black Boule, that were in with the cursed seed, that were in with the people behind the scenes. They all cannot handle this energy. They literally cannot handle this spiritual energy that is being transmitted, and that is, again, that is on earth now. So just letting you guys know, you're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of this. I don't know what this means for America. I'm not really sure if the Yellowstone is going to erupt or anything. I'm not going to propagate any of that, but stuff like this luckily has happened within or without the population's reach. So it hasn't affected a lot of people. Alright guys, let's watch this last video because I wanted to show what's been going on again in our neighborhoods. So it's only 1 minute. Let's watch it. Let's see what's going on.
Good evening. Our top story comes out of Marion County tonight, where a small town there has lost its entire police department. Thanks for joining us on 12 News at 6. I'm Eric Miner. In a social media post made this afternoon, the Barrackville Police Department announced that, effective immediately, every single member of the department had been relieved of duty by the mayor and town council. Former Barrackville Police Sergeant David Hunt tells us upon showing up to the department this morning, he found that the evidence room had been broken into. And upon learning of this, Hunt then called a meeting with the mayor and town council and says when he alleged that it was members of the town's government who had broken into the evidence room, he and another officer who make up the entire department were immediately placed on inactive status. Hunt added that the town's police clerk had also quit, and all of this comes less than a week after Barrackville's chief of police, Zachary Freeburn, resigned due to disputes with town council about overreach. Freeburn sent us a letter that he had planned on reading at tonight's town council meeting, which we've learned has been canceled. You can read that letter in its entirety over on our website, WBOY.com. Now, in the
Alright guys, I just want to let you know the whole system has to be shut down. Everything has to be crumbling down. And the media is going to tell you, oh, this is not working and this is not working because of this reason. The hospitals are not working because we don't have a lot of staff. We're letting go these people. The police, first of all, are connected to the government, which again has been against you, has been against your soul, has been the ones that have been trying to take your energy, which again goes back to maritime law. And the police, because they are innately corrupt, because they are connected not to the state, they're not connected to the state government, they're connected to the central government, which is the poisonous, again, which is the poisonous parasite that has been on the land. They also need to withdraw, they also need to leave. And this is not the first town that this has happened. There's been many towns, especially the smaller towns, where there is no more police, okay? The hospitals, there's no more hospitals. Everything that has been corrupt, everything that, again, whose lifeline was the deep state, that was the US government, corporation, has to leave and has to end, okay? And on a very sinister level, we know that the higher ups of the police are the ones that allowed child trafficking to happen, that allowed the sex trafficking happen. We know that the people that were in our neighborhoods, they also were dealing with the child sex trafficking. They're also the ones that are dealing with, again, giving up children in sacrifice to the reptilians, giving them their blood, their life force, their adrenochrome. All of this was happening underneath all of our neighborhoods. All of this was happening. So, because we are again in the end times, we can no longer allow this to suffice. We can no longer allow this to happen because they cannot handle these energies. Things are going to start to appear like they're crumbling, maybe in your town, maybe in your city. And when you see this happening, just know that it all has to happen, and you don't need to be emotionally connected. You don't need to be attached to it. Just let it happen. Don't be like, what am I going to do to protect myself? You can protect yourself with your own means. You don't need the government. You don't need some central government that never cared about you in the first place. So guys, this is what I wanted to show you guys, what has been happening close to home. And again, we can see the 444 energy is still happening. It's going to happen, I think, until tomorrow. And the Christ consciousness energy is currently on the planet. You have access to it. Allow it to come through you. Listen to your body. Listen to the energetics of your body, your intuition, and your wisdom. Don't just listen to the thoughts of your mind. And yeah, guys, that was the presentation for today. Hopefully you guys could see me. I don't know. The light is not really that great for today, but let me know what you guys think, what you guys have been noticing. If you guys have been noticing that the state governments in your town have been lifted off, if you notice the police, the education, and the medical system, if they've been crumbling. Right now, everything is in a play or a stage form, so the government doesn't exist right now. Everything that you're seeing on the TV or the media is being broadcasted out of a theater or out of a stage, and we can currently see that because if you look at the backdrop of Trump or just like any politician, it looks like they're in a sound stage. It looks like they're in some sort of theater, and sometimes the White House looks different, the landscape of the White House looks different, or sometimes, just like weird stuff in the background with Trump is happening. It looks like he's in an artificial stage. But all of this just lets us know that everything is ending and we can firmly grasp our new spiritual, our new true reality in the golden age, in this golden era. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it as there for today. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys got from the video, what you guys have been noticing, maybe in your neighborhood, what you guys have been noticing on the media, if you guys have been watching it. And yeah guys, I'll see you guys later. Peace.